Hey, welcome back to another Just 5 Mins, and I'm really going to desperately try to keep it to 5 minutes, but it's essentially revisiting low-code development tools. This one, it's been on my radar for a while now, probably about a year actually, and I did do an episode, I think episode 16 back in 2020, about a couple of other low-code tools, Bubble.io and DraftBit. There's a few there if you want to check those out from a couple of years ago. But this one today is Retool, retool.com. I'll put all the info in the show notes. This one, the tagline is build internal tools remarkably fast. So albeit it doesn't necessarily have a public facing side, I'm guessing you could probably do something there, and I doubt very much that it's not possible to do so. There probably are ways to actually make that public facing, but certainly for an internal management sort of development environment where you can very quickly develop dashboards or maintenance screens of databases, it's brilliant. It's drag and drop as usual. There's an edit, an IDE, an online sort of browser-based IDE to do this. It reminds me of a tool from a long time ago. I think from Tibco, can you believe? Years ago, that had a lot of promise of this. But this seems to be very slick. And the main thing that really jumped out for me is the pricing. They've got a free version up to 5 users. Okay, the pricing isn't particularly expensive anyway. So if you've got a team version, they've got like essentially $10 a month per user. Okay, you can go up to an enterprise version. Obviously, it goes up in price, but certainly the free version that you can connect to lots of different databases and, importantly, APIs. There's 100 plus production ready UI components. So things like charts, tables, all the UI components that you would need. You can write queries very simply either via SQL or a GUI tool, a graphic user interface tool. But the other interesting part is Retool have the same thing, free version. They have a cloud hosted version for you, but you can also self-host as well. So that's the route that I've taken. So you can decide, okay, I want to host this on my own Amazon environment or my own Kubernetes environment or whatever it might be. And that's brilliant. But you can also decide to pull it down locally. And that is exactly what I did. I've said, okay, I'd like to run this locally. Now, fair enough, it's going to run locally on my laptop at the moment, but that local could be your server in your company. Okay, and the reason for that is because when you download it locally, it is of course Docker essentially. So it's a set of Docker images. There's a Docker container running. By the looks of it, it's got Postgres at the back end. But anyway, that's besides the point. It's a Docker environment, and that's what I've brought down to actually run and test this locally. It's very strong. I mean, it's very quick to start building sort of tables, charts. As I say, there's a lot of lovely integrations with pretty much any database that you can imagine, including actually SAP HANA, which I don't know, a lot of people may not even be interested in that, but certainly in my sort of day-to-day world, connecting to SQL-based databases like MySQL, Postgres, even things like MongoDB and all the others that are out there is great. But to be able to connect to things like Oracle, or like I say, SAP HANA, which is SAP's in-memory database, that is a real plus point. But they also allow you to connect to loads of different APIs out of the box. You can also connect to custom APIs for your data source, GraphQL, gRPC. There's so many to go through. I'll put the links below. But you can also have things like connect direct to Salesforce or Shopify or Stripe. Okay, so if you want to look at like you want a list of payments that have been made, you can pull that down, then export that data. There's all sorts of wonderful things that you can obviously do. I am going to do just 15 minutes. That's my video channel where I can actually show you this a bit more visually because there's just too much to go through within 5 minutes, and we've already gone over 5 minutes. But yeah, it's a great looking tool with that extra option of being able to run this locally, and I think that is that's going to be a really interesting one that I'll be playing with for the next few weeks for sure. And maybe you will as well. Maybe you'll find it of interest in your environment. So that's what I've got for this time. We'll see you on the next one.